Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for another edition of the Project 40 Knowledge Hub. We want to especially welcome everybody, all of our guests joining in today from wherever you are in the world. You are especially welcome to today's episode. It promises, of course, to be a very great one as usual, as we have another great thought leader with us today. And then we want to quickly make sure that we do not leave anybody on notice. Please let us get to the comment section and introduce ourselves. My name is Gregory Ogenyi from the Knowledge Lifestyle Hub Academy. I'm going to be the one to introduce the host for today. Very shortly, I'll be doing that. But just before then, let us get to the comment section. Please let us know where you are joining in. Let us know your name and where you are joining in from today. We'd like to especially welcome you in the comment section. Let's get the comment section bubbling with some introduction. Tell us your name and where you are joining in from today. We want to recognize you and welcome you specially. Thank you very much. I hope that you can all hear me. Okay, it's beginning to come in. You're welcome, Mrs. Osisami. You're welcome. You're welcome. Please, let's keep the introduction coming. Let's know your name and where you are joining in from today. You're welcome, Beatrice from Abuja. You're welcome, Silas from Abuja. You're welcome. You're welcome. We hope that the Project 40 Knowledge Hub has been a great experience for you so far, because when we started this movement last year, the visionary himself has plans of making sure that we transform Africa with great minds, through this platform. And that is what this Project 40 Knowledge Hub is all about. We want to make sure that the African dream is still very much a reality. It's still very much a reality. So we are building a community of entrepreneurs and workplace professionals who will be taking on this dream, making sure that the African narrative is rewritten in the history. Thank you very much. Mariama Bobo from Abuja, you're welcome. Tosin from London, you're welcome. So glad to see all of you. Thank you so very much. In a moment, we're going to be starting. And then before then, I want to bring to our notice, in case this is your first time of joining the Project 40 Knowledge Hub, this is a community of entrepreneurs and workplace professionals. We want to rewrite the African narrative. We want to raise ideas that can transform the African continent from this platform. And so far, we have been bringing in some very wonderful and great thought leaders. I want to believe that you have been enjoying each of the sections that we've been having so far, and that you found great value in the content that is being dished out here. And if that is the case, please make sure that you have your writing materials ready, because today's edition promises to be another great one. In a moment from now, I'll be introducing the host for today, the visionary himself, Mr. Abioye. Like I said in the last edition, nothing is free. As a matter of fact, whenever something is being presented to us as free, it is actually not free. Someone has paid for it to make it free. So I want you to pretend as if you paid $1 million to attend this seminar today, to attend today's section. Because you know why? It is until you pretend that you have paid that you're going to be able to take this edition today seriously. Naturally, we tend to not attach value to things that are given to us free. But when you carry the mentality of, okay, I think this is worth it, let me pretend as if I paid $1 million to attend this seminar. You will see that the mindset with which you're going to approach it will be entirely different. So I want to appeal to us to take it seriously, because it's costing the CEO of Lifestyle Hub, Mr. Abioye, so much to be able to put this together, but it's coming to us as free, but someone is paying the price behind. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, if you are as ready as I am and excited as I am, please join me to welcome the visionary himself, Mr. Abioye, as he takes over from me. Sir, if you are there and you can hear me, please take it away. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Greg, and good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, and it feels so good to be back again with another edition of the Project 40 Knowledge Hub. Today's event promises to be very, very powerful. Yes, thank you, Aja Mirama. It's so good to see you and have you on this call today. Thank you so much. Today's event promises to be very powerful. We had a great time last month with Mr. Niyi Adesanya, and today we have also one of Africa's finest minds. He has helped a lot of businesses to move from zero to greatness. Like Greg said, we all need to pretend as if we have paid $1 billion for this event. For me, I need us to derive massive value from today's event. I slept, I dreamt about today. I woke up so excited today because I know I have someone very, very gifted, someone full of knowledge, someone that has great heart to supporting businesses and individuals towards achieving their purpose. It took us, I've been having this conversation with him for over a year, and I'm so delighted he graciously accepted to grace our March edition. So I want to encourage you to please take notes. You must take notes. If you don't take note today, you've wasted your time. I'm sorry. You've wasted your time if you don't take notes. Don't just take mental notes. For me, I have my P square already, my pen and my paper, and I'm encouraging you to, for those of you that are watching us for the first time, I would like to encourage you to please check out our YouTube channel, the Project 40 YouTube channel, and watch all the editions, the past 7 editions we've had. This is our 8th edition. We had the first edition about 7 months ago when we had the honor of having Jimmy Tewe, to open up this very season. And this season is going to end on the 26th of July of this year with a physical event, and guess what? We'll also be awarding the top 40 most improved member of this community with a special award. That's why I want to encourage you, if you've not filled the idea vote database or the form, I encourage you to please fill it. Do you have an idea? Are you looking for investment into your ideas? Fill the idea vote and let us match make you with potential investors into your business. And of course, the growth matrix. Let's know where you are today, and let's see how well you have grown by this time, July 2022. So I thank you so much, and it feels so good. We live in a very turbulent world. Okay, we live in a world that is full of crisis. A lot of businesses are going down right now. The world is in chaos. There is so much reason why we should fail. But guess what? The world needs us to rescue the world. And today we'll be talking about what we need to do to break all limitations, everything limiting our greatness, and how we can all start living in abundance. You can see how powerful today's session is. I'm super delighted. I'm super very, very grateful that today we have a great man, someone of high intellectual standing, someone, an international speaker, globally known. And for me, I want to believe I have him on this call already. If not, I will just start crying, literally. Ladies and gentlemen, with a smiling ovation, okay? With a smiling ovation, please join me in welcome the world famous Mr. Ugochukwu Omeogu. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Abioye. Good to be here again.
Wow. I'm super delighted. I'm super delighted. I know how busy you are, and how highly sorted after you are. And on behalf of every member of this community, those that are here right now and those that will still join us before we conclude today's edition, we just want to thank you for your service, for the lives you've changed through your platforms, through your trainings. And for us, we are very expectant today because we've come into today's session because we really want to learn. We want to squeeze you. We want to squeeze you. We want to give you reason to go back and acquire and create more knowledge at the end of this. Those guys are wicked. See the way they squeeze me. Thank you so much, Mr. Omeogu. Now, today, sir, we want to talk about breaking all limitations. Like I said in my intro, the world is in chaos. There is so much reason why we should fail right now. Businesses are having a lot of challenges, and so I just 2 questions I'm going to ask today, just 2 questions. Then you build your conversation around these questions, sir. The first question I would like to ask is, how can we break all limitations? And the second is, how can we attain a life of abundance? Mr. Ugo, over to you, sir.
Okay, so how can we break limitations and how can we attain a life of abundance? Thank you, Abioye. You never stop to surprise me. You're always full of inspiration. And I see you at age of 40, done what most people cannot achieve in their lifetime. And everyone here, thank you very much for the privilege to listen to me. And I'm sure this platform is going to release a lot of potential and help us to improve our capacity to contribute to mankind. Okay, so the first question is, say it again. I'm trying to get the question correct. What is the question again?
Yes, how can we break all limitations? How can we break all limitations? All those factors, from the physical limitation to willpower limitation. What can we do to overcome all these challenges? The physical ones around us, the family background, lack of opportunities, and so on and so forth, and even some of the limitations that we create by ourselves. Okay,
so great. First of all, the nature does not permit limitation. There's no such thing as limitation. I'll explain. If you look at the nature, the sun has been shining unlimitedly since the creation of man. The sun has never stopped shining. Okay, there is the air never got out of is not limited. People have come through the earth, billions of people have come through the earth, and the air is still sufficient for everyone. We have never run out of fish in the ocean. So nature is anti-limitation. Then when you hear limitations, what you're hearing is the mindset and the belief system that has refused to understand the unlimited capacity that the earth has. So we are not limited by nature. In fact, if there's anything we are trying to do is to place some level of restrictions in our unlimitedness. So the fundamental thing is to understand that nature, life that God gave to us, has no limitation placed on it. Matter of fact, what we are learning in terms of discipline is how do we manage our unlimitedness? How do we, by reason of prudence, by reason of self-discipline, tame our unlimitedness to abundance in outcome? And I think I'm a critical example of that. And I'll start by myself. Of course, Ugochukwu Omeogu is my name. I run businesses. I'm a consultant in business. I'm a creator in nature. I develop ideas. I turn my ideas into products. I turn my ideas into services, and I release them to the universe, and I get equivalent in returns to what I have created. And in this program, what I'm about to do is to teach you how to bring back the original nature of being unlimited, okay? Of being unlimited. Benjamin Disraeli said, the greatest good you can do for another person is not just to share your riches, but to reveal to him his own. The greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches, but to reveal to him or her his own. In other words, part of what we're supposed to do on earth beyond teaching and training is to live out our life in a way that people look at us and they see themselves in us, knowing that they can become, and achieve because they see us living our life in a way that is very inspiring, which is what you've done. So the word limited means restricted in size, in amount, in extent, restricted, okay? It means boundary. That's what it is. But yeah, like I said before, nature do not place boundaries, because if you look at the universe, it is sometimes the scientists, sent object into orbit and it has gone 5 million years and it's still going. There's some object they have sent into the space today that are in transit over 10 years ago, and the object is still traveling, and it's meant to travel like 1 million years, 2 million years, and there's no limit in the space. So the question is, how come some people still operate in a limited form when the capacity is unlimited? So first of all, what we need to do is to understand this concept. Now, right? So the fundamental limitations people have is not placed upon them based on the nature of life. It's placed upon them based on the wrong foundation of knowledge, wrong foundation of knowledge, wrong foundation of beliefs. It is those narratives of beliefs, of culture, that has defined an anti-nature belief system that makes people who are by nature unlimited to be living a limited life. So if you define the word limited, it means restricted in size, in amount, in extent. Okay, so unlimited means to remove the restriction, which means boundless, means infinite. And that is our nature as gods, as people created in the image and likeness of God. So one of the ways you can become unlimited is when you live for others. When you live for others. Anytime you get to the point that you wake up in the morning and you're thinking, planning, how can I help someone become better? How can I serve more people? Once you've gotten to that level where you are thinking that as a fundamental thought, you have taken limitations out of your life. Very critical. So to become unlimited, you have to live for other people. Okay, so, and before I talked about the four critical fundamentals of being unlimited, I would like to ask my audience right now to tell me if I've made any sense so far. If you've learned anything so far, I would like you to type in the screen on the chat box what you've gotten from what I'm saying. It's important that I know that you are actually watching and listening and you are engaging what I'm saying. So right now, I want you to go ahead and put in the chat box if you've learned anything so far. Okay, let me know what it is. Thank you, Senator Shola. It's good to have you. Correct? Beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful. Omotade. I'm waiting. Okay. Adegboyega. Beautiful. Service. Okay. Thank you. Gregory. Appreciate you. Nature is limitless. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Nature is designed to be limitless. Correct. Thank you. All right. So basically, I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that two things I want you to see before I go to the four sides of how to become unlimited. Four sides to it. But listen, our life is shaped by theories. See, when you have the theories of life about how the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, if you have theories about, scientific theories about the sun, the moon, the constellations, and the universe, it doesn't change how the universe operates. You see, the universe is immune to human theories. Whatever what you say about the sun will still shine regardless of what you say about the sun. But human theories is not the same for human behavior. Human behavior are shaped by our theories. Our theories about what we believe shape our culture. Our culture now shapes our behavior. And once a man's behavior is shaped, you have changed his nature. I will say it again, our theories. For example, someone that lives in a particular part of the world behaves according to the culture of that part of the world. If you have someone born of the same parents, okay? If you have someone born of the same parents, and at the time of birth, you take one person to the United States and take another person to the Middle East, even though they are of the same DNA, they will behave differently. In other words, the behavior of man came from the culture upon which he or she is raised. And our cultures came from our philosophies. Our philosophies come from our theories, which is what we construct as how we are supposed to behave, what we construct as how we are supposed to think. So these constructions of human theories have shaped the behavior of people, upon which limitations cannot be placed on what people are capable of doing. There's so many things people can't do because of their thinking what the society will say. There are certain things you think you can't do because of the family you come from. All of those things are lies. That is anti-nature. You are born in a universe that is unlimited. The sun, the waters are still here. The grasses are still here. All right. So once you've established that, you now know that limitation is not a function of theories. Limitation is not a function of philosophy. Limitation is not a function of religion, which is human theories that create this thing that we call limitations. Am I making sense, guys? If you're understanding me, don't you write on the screen that you're understanding me, that nature is anti-limitation. In fact, that's why they call the animals in the bush wild animals. Wild means untamed. Wild means unlimited. Wild means there's no limit. When somebody else wild, means there's no limit to what you can think or do. So I want you to understand that. Okay? I want you to understand that there's no limitation. That's not how life is designed. There's about 8 billion people in the world, and the world is still what it is. It's still where it is. There's enough water, there's enough food. It is those people who understand this nature, who understand that you are born in an unlimited resources, that by very design upon which you are born, there is no limit placed on you as a human being. It is theories and culture and philosophies that now take your mind and begin to force certain narratives. And because you bought that narrative, then limitations, which is anti-nature, begins to come in place.
Powerful.
Do that make sense, guys?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, I'm not just talking over your head. I'm teaching from the point of mentorship. Okay, that's why I want engagement. I want you to talk back to me. Okay, if I'm making sense, I want you to talk about the chat box, what you're learning. I want you to engage. Right now, I want you to engage. I want you to talk to me. I want you to participate in this program, because as you're talking back to me, I can see what you're getting. I can know where to drive my thoughts, because as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm talking to human beings that are in different parts of the world right now. Some from the UK, some from Nigeria. Now, there's no limit to who I can speak to based on the new technology, social media, and all over the place. Every day, new breakthroughs prove there's no limit to life. New breakthroughs, new inventions, new products, new technology is always showing that there's no limit. I want you to get that. I want you to get that today. Okay? So how do you now break this boundary? How do you now begin to live in abundance? How do you begin to live without limitation? It's by living for other people. But there are 4 sides to it. So the first side to becoming unlimited is what you can do for yourself by yourself. What you can do for yourself by yourself. So I don't want you to go and start living for others when you have not lived for yourself. I don't want you to say, Mr. Ugo said he's living for others. Wake up the next day and say, I'm going to help people. No, but you must be first of all, self-reliant. The first step to being unlimited is self-reliance. Do you understand? It's self-reliance. What you can do for yourself by yourself. That's so what do you need? What resources do you need to do something for yourself by yourself? That resource is called competence, which is the knowledge and the physical presence to perform a task for yourself. The knowledge that you've acquired and your physical ability to get something done for yourself. So when you wake up in the morning and you can make your bed, that's where you start from. When you go to school, the essence of going to school is to have fundamental knowledge about self. Just that schools don't teach you that. So if you understand this concept, you can't be part of the world without being competent in something that you can do by yourself. That's the first step. So self-awareness, at least knowing that I'm here. I am Ugochukwu Omeogu. I have the right to be on earth. I have the right to become useful on earth for myself. I have the inalienable right to be able to make my own bed without being dependent on someone else. That's the first step. I see a lot of people try to get into training, teaching, but they are still lacking in, they have not built any business. They have not done anything. They're not even under mentorship. They're not serving anyone. They just want to help the world. I see that in a lot of millennials. They just want to wake up in the morning and all this motivational talk all over the place, and they just feel charged. But the first demand of life is what can you do for yourself? So make your own bed first before you think about who to make bed for. The second side of being unlimited is what you can do for yourself through others. What you can do for yourself through other people. Remember, the first one is what you can do for yourself by yourself. That's competence. What you can do for yourself through others. That's where the word leverage comes in. That's where the word relationship comes in. That's where the word delegation comes in. As you begin to grow and begins to want to expand your capacity to help people, you find out that you need to always specialize on something. But life also hostels on you a lot of responsibilities, like ironing your clothes, driving yourself. You get laundry people to iron your clothes. You don't have to do all the time because you already know how to iron your clothes. But how would you know what standard of clothes you want if you have never ironed your clothes before? So the second level is what you can do for yourself through others. That's leverage, okay? Maybe next session, next time, I'm going to talk about leverage. It's crazy, okay? Now, in this context, anytime you're thinking about what you can do for other people, you have started the initial thought of unlimitedness because now you have been able to satisfy yourself, but you want to now go out there and give to other people. Let me tell you, when you say what you sow, what you reap, I don't totally agree with that. You always reap. No, you reap what you sow, but you always reap more than what you sow. You sow a grain of corn, you will reap a cob of corn. If you sow a seed of a tree, you always reap a tree. The seed and what comes out is always different. So when you help one person, you have always helped 4 people by helping one person. So the second level is what you can do for others, what you can do for yourself through others, all right? Then the third one is crazy. What you can do for all the people by yourself. What you can do for other people, okay, by yourself. Remember, the first one is what you can do for yourself by yourself, okay? Second one is what you can do for yourself through others. The third one is what you can do for others by yourself. So that's when you can use your competence now to help a lot of people. But the other one is what you can get people to do for you. Now watch this, watch this. Anytime you're finding difficult attracting great people in your life, it means your own greatness is in question because like attracts like. 90% of the time, You attract your equal. You attract someone that is in the same level of your competence. So instead of running around looking for people, trying to suck up to people, why don't you become the person that people want to look up to or attract? So anytime people meet you, you should always have something in your hand you can give in terms of great advice that comes from wisdom or competence you can render to other people. Never, ever allow anybody to outgive you in any place you find yourself. Never, ever allow yourself to be outgiven in any way by anyone. But also be open to receive good gestures, be open to receive help, be open to receive support. Don't reject, don't feel that you are above support. No. You see, one of the greatest assets of leadership in life is vulnerability. Vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability means there is an area of your life that needs to be improved upon. Vulnerability means you're humble enough to accept that there's room for improvement. Because sometimes people ask me, well, how are you able to maintain your capacity? How are you always making more impact in people's life, creating new product, creating new relationship? Okay, it's because I always see myself as there's more I can do. I can always do more. I always see myself like that because nature is unlimited. Okay. Then the fourth one is the crazy one. The fourth one is the crazy one. It's what you can do for others through others. What you can do for others through others. That is not you doing it now. You have people who have trained, who have built, and they are not helping people on your behalf. People are coming back to you and say, thank you. And you're trying to remember, when did I meet you? You say, well, I met someone who you helped, and the person said, my mentor is Ugo. For you to do this, for you to now begin to be the person that can help other people through other people, write this word down. You need to have a system thinking. System thinking. You know, system is about, write this down, system is about interdependency. Interdependency. No one virtue in life is enough. I'm going to tell you this. This is crazy. No one virtue in life. Now, honesty, write this down, without compassion is cruelty. There are certain truths you tell people without being compassionate and kind. That truth will destroy the person you're telling the truth. Courage without prudence is recklessness. If you're courageous and you want to go out there, it's a good virtue to have. But without being thoughtful, you can go and wreck yourself. Remember, the earth is unlimited. The difference between you and the wild animal is that they operate in an uncontrolled way. In other words, power becomes dangerous without limit, without control. Power is dangerous without control. The reason why you can get into a car and the car is going 100 miles per hour and you're still comfortable is because there's a brake. If you remove brake, even at 20 miles per hour, you're scared. So the true nature of unlimitedness is when you have built structure and system that can allow you to help people without being physically present. That's what makes you powerful. To build a system that can take your values and virtues and put it in different people's life and put it in a structure that can continue to give people value without you being physically present in that particular process. That is when you can say you are truly unlimited. So I want you to talk to me right now. If you've gotten something already, just chat me on the box what you're getting, then I can know how to tell you what are the ways you can start to take away limitation. How do you take away limitation? I want to teach you that right now. How do you take away limitation? But I need you to chat me on the box right now. Tell me what you've got so far, and expanding on the 4 sides of being unlimited. I need you to chat me on the box now. Okay, I'm waiting for your chat. Okay, self-reliance, that's the first one. Beautiful. I like you, Gregory. This is amazing. Incredible. Be open to support and help and never allow anyone to outgive you. I love you, Chinyere. This is amazing. It's amazing. Okay. Okay, great. So, I try to break this down in simple terms, in a simple language everybody can understand. Now, I want you to write this down. I want you to look at this. There's no limitation of money in the world. I'll prove it to you. I'm telling you right now. Okay, there is no limitation of money in the world. There is only limitation of value. Because every money you see in the world is a response to value created. So money in and of itself cannot exist without value. In fact, money was invented because of value. Do it make sense? Yes. Yeah. So anytime you see someone having a lot of money, I want you to see that money is a shadow and a consequence of value creation. So when value is created, and listen to this, when value is created and transformed into product and services, the respondent outcome is money. So if you're in this program, all right, and you're having an issue with money, I want you to know you are having an issue with what brings money.
Wow.
In other words, value in and of itself cannot help you until it is transmitted through the idea of product. Product are carriers of value, of services. So services and product are the means to transfer value for the inevitable outcome of money. So I don't go about every morning thinking about, okay, I'm going to make money this year. No, I don't think about it. I don't wake up in the morning, no, I say, I am going to be good at what I do, and I'm going to serve as many people as possible. Matter of fact, I am now coming out of serving people to create a system that takes what I have and then automatically serve people without me being part of that process. It's the difference between building a clock and telling time. Building a clock and telling time. Time telling means you have to be the one to do it. When I'm telling people time, people wake up in the morning, Abioye, what's the time? It says 8 o'clock. If you're sleeping at 12 a.m. and somebody has to call you, but what if you build a clock and put it out there and put battery in the clock and go to bed? People just go and they look at the clock, they get the time, and they still pay you for looking at the clock because you have taken away the capacity to tell time into an object outside of you. Yeah. Oh my God, I wish someone is listening right now. I wish someone is following what I'm talking.
Trust me, we are so much with you right now.
Are you with me? It's crazy. It's crazy. Look at me. I'm on crutches, all right? Look at me on crutches. So if wealth is based on physical stuff, Ugochukwu Omeogu would not be a wealthy guy. I wouldn't be as rich as I am today.
Absolutely.
So what do? I build system. And system thinking means, listen to this, system thinking means interdependence. Interdependence, not dependence. Which means one virtue will depend on another virtue. So I am a virtue. I have a bunch of competencies. There are other people that I can bring into my life. Their own talent and skill will make my own more powerful. So the concept is there is no limited money. There's only limited value. But listen to this, watch this. But there is no limited virtue. Limited virtue. Virtue is not limited. Virtue are the deposit of God nature in man. The ability to love is unlimited. The ability to be kind is unlimited. The ability to be compassionate is unlimited. But if you see, kindness would not give you money until it's turned into a business process that people can come and receive product and services. So you must turn your virtue that is unlimited to a limited value. You see, the problem is people are at the point of virtue, but they are not at the point of value. And I give you the reason. There are so many kind, broke people. There's so many honest, broke people. There's so many passionate, broke. Those are raw virtues of God, raw in itself. So, but knowledge will now push you to go and see, how do I turn my virtues into values? For example, if you love people to be healthy, that's love for mankind to be healthy. But you need to be a medical doctor to convert that love of healthy to become a medical service. You see, there are limited medical doctors, you see, but there's no limited virtue of people being kind.
Sure.
Okay, you with me, guys? Okay, so basically what you're trying to do to become unlimited, the foundation for being unlimited is that you want to go from the idea of sharing money to revealing to people their capacity to become anything they want. That's where even the Bible said, by knowledge, the room is filled by all the pleasant and precious riches in the world. By knowledge, by learning. A matter of fact, the fundamentals of being unlimited is the knowledge of your unlimitedness. Okay, so right now, this life, how do you begin to take away limitations? What are the things you need to take away? What are the places where limitations are embedded? Write this down. Limitations are not embedded in your nature as a human being. It's embedded in 3 places. Number 1, in your beliefs. Nobody is born with a belief. Belief is what you learned, it's what you saw, it's what you heard. That's the first place to take away limitations, your beliefs. How many of you believe that you can be anything? You can meet anyone? How many of you believe that you deserve the best of life? How many of you believe that it took God time to think about you before God made you come to earth? How many of you believe that the singular reason that you are in this part, any part of the world, is an evidence that God wants that place to prosper? How many of you believe, for example, I have been on crutches for over 35 years. I've been on crutches for over 38 years. I feel and I believe that I'm a specimen for men to see that even when your legs and your hands are cut off, you're still unlimited in what you can think, be, or manifest. So the first place is unbelief, okay? Now the word believe, write this down, means accept as true. Believe means accept as true. Accept as true. So it doesn't have to be right or wrong. Whatever you accept as true becomes your belief. Go and check the meaning of the word in the dictionary. Anything you accept as true is your belief. If someone tells you you are not anything, you amount to nothing, and you accept it, it becomes your truth. But if I tell you that you are awesome, that you are great, that you're going to be anything you want, even though you come from a poor background and you accept this thing as true, it becomes your new reality. If your father is a big boy, a big man, and I take you from your father, and you never know your father was a rich man, and I put you in a poor place, and I tell you you amount to nothing, and that you come from a place where nobody makes success. Once you accept it, that acceptance is what makes it belief. It doesn't have to be wrong or right. Once you accept it, it's a belief. And that's why you can tell some people they can be anything. They say, I can't, it's not me, it's my people, or I'm from Nigeria, I'm from this family. What they are quarreling with, not what you're saying. Their belief is conflicting with what you're saying. That's the first place. Number 2 place to take away limitation is mind. You see, you believe with your heart, you learn with your mind. The tool for learning is mind. I want you to understand that. Your brain is an instrument of learning. And I want you to write this down. Learning is a superpower. Everything you are today, poor, rich, middle class, first of all, you had unlimited nature. You learned yourself into limitation. If look at the whole world, so many people tell their story of where they came from, poverty, and you see them becoming very rich. You see some people who are born in rich families and they end up poor, which means nobody has any advantage over you once you understand that the greatest tool you have is your ability to learn. The greatest tool you have is your ability to learn. Now, you can learn to be poor. Write it down. You can learn to be poor. Anytime you begin to learn how to manage scarcity, okay, learn how to manage lack, it's called degenerative learning. It's called degenerative learning. It's also called adaptive learning, which means learning how to manage lack. You can take your shirt and wash one shirt 5 times, cut the neck when it is worn out, and remove the collar and turn it upside down. How many of you went through that in your life? You are in school, you wash your shirt in the night, use it in the morning, and the shirt is already worn out. You take tailor to cut it, and instead of thinking about how to create more value to buy more shirt, you're thinking about how to manage the one that is already spoiling. It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
okay.
It is.
So your mind your learning is a superpower. Now listen to this. This is crazy. Abioye, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer me. Okay, I want you to answer me a question. Everybody that is listening right now, I want you to answer the question as I ask it. Okay, the first question will be yes. The answer to the first question is yes, if I learn how. Can I ask the question?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little. Do you have any medical doctor in the house? Any engineer or any accountant in the house? If you have any medical doctor, accountant, any professional, please type on the screen. If you have any professional in the house, please type a banker, accountant, lawyer, doctor, pharmacist, please. Good. Miriam, Bobby. Okay, veteran. Okay, engineer. Okay, so Engineer Miriam. Okay, Engineer Miriam. Okay, Mimi Ayua. Okay, great. I'm going to ask you guys a question. 30 years ago, Miriam, were you an engineer 30 years ago? Miriam? No. Good, 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 good. So 30 years ago, what were you? What were you 30 years ago, Miriam? So 30 years ago, you were a student. Guys, watch this. 30 years ago, you were only a creative being who was learning, and then you went into the university, you filled the form, you wrote engineering in your course, and you were in front of engineers for first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and these engineers were speaking to your mind with instructions and assignments, and they were talking to you for 4 to 5 years. After the 5th year, you now become what we call engineer. Am I correct, Miriam? Am I correct? Correct. Now let's go back 30 years ago. You were a student. What if you have chosen in your form medicine? What if you have chosen medicine and you put medicine in your form? 6 years after, Miriam, what would you become? A doctor. You see? So write this down. You are not what you learned. You learned medicine. They called you a doctor. You learned engineering. They called you engineer. But you're always bigger than what you learned, which means today, if you put something else in your mind and say, today, I'm going to learn on how to fly plane, and you give yourself 6 months to 7 months or 8 months or 2 years, you're going to become a pilot. Am I correct? Now watch this. I'm going to ask you a question. Can you be, Miriam, can you be a doctor? I want you to answer me and say, yes, if I learn how. Everybody in the house, I'm going to ask everybody the same question. Can you be a doctor? I want you to answer me, yes, if I learn how. Say, if I learn how. That's your answer. Type it in. Can you be a lawyer?
Yes, if I learn how.
Can you be a pilot?
Yes, if I learn how.
Can you be a billionaire?
Oh, yes, if I learn how.
You see the question, why you're not a billionaire yet? Because you have not taken wealth creation as a subject and begin to learn how to create wealth. Anything you want, you can learn it. You can learn anything you want. Right now in this room, he said to Mr. Ugo, in this project 40, I was here today, and he said, okay, now I'm going to learn how to build my finances. Give yourself 6 months to 2 years. On the 12th month, you see yourself having so much finances. The same way you become an engineer, you become a lawyer, you learned it. So stop calling yourself the title you learned. Title ties you down. You're not an engineer. You are a learner. You're not a doctor. You are a learner. You are not a pilot. You learned those things. You cannot use what you learned to stop you from learning other things. The reason people stop becoming anything more is because they have stopped learning. They forgot what they are today. They learned yesterday. So what you're going to be tomorrow, you start learning today.
Awesome.
So unlimited is your nature. The essence of learning is to guide your mind to specific value process. The essence of learning is to equip your mind, equip your skills to be able to perform certain skills to get a particular result. Once you get the result, set another goal of what you're going to learn. People ask me, well, how are you able to do the things you do? It's because I'm always learning. I'm always vulnerable. Each time I start a new venture, I'm vulnerable. It means I'm going to be humble. I'm allowing someone to teach me. I'm allowing myself to go through a process. And then as I'm learning, 6 months from when I started, I'm not going to be as stupid as when I started. 6 months down the line, you see me becoming a better version of what I've always been. So the third place to take away limitation is in your practice, in your competence. The first one is in your belief. The second one is your mind. Your mind is a tool to learn. The third one is practice. You can always improve upon, they say practice makes perfect. I heard Lazy Brown talk about it. He said practice makes progress. Practice does not make perfect. You are, I'm telling you right now, you are unlimited. The only thing you have limitation to you is how long you can be on earth, you as a person. But if you build a system around your value and virtue, even when this body is gone, it can still be useful. Even when you're gone. So one of the ways great men become relevant when they're not there is, now listen to this. If you're 50 and 60 in this hall, in this meeting, now begin to find younger body you can pour your virtues in. When you begin to pour your virtues into younger body, even when you're 70, you will see someone that is younger doing exactly what you love to do. You'll still be happy because they are still fulfilling your goal in life. So, which means you are cutting away that personal limitation in terms of what you can do and pouring yourself to as many people as possible. That means you're no longer limited by yourself. You are now expanded by multiple people. That's what's called networking. One of the greatest business models in the world I know is networking. Why? It thrives on the growth of people. It's the only business model that rewards you for helping other people. Remember, if you want to be unlimited, you live for others. I was wondering, as a Christian, when Jesus came, if you're a Christian, please permit me, as a Christian, Jesus, we talk about Jesus being all powerful, blah, 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 all the wonderful things Jesus is. I agree with you. But why didn't he do it by himself? Why did he have to recruit 12 people? Oh, he could have been everywhere by himself. He could have just said, oh, I'm Jesus. Oh, he healed people and then died. No, he took time. He took time and focused on people. And he knew that his capacity to be a legend, to be remembered all the time, is directly dependent on how many people he lived for by pouring his life in those people. Today, we still talk about it. All the great people you're talking about today is much more about what they lived for in the life of people. So in closing, how do you, I talked about what you do, what places to take away limitation is in your belief, which is accepting as true. Today, you can say, I accept I'm a wealthy man. I accept I'm a billionaire. The next step is mind. So I'm going to learn. The way someone learn medicine, engineering, I'm going to begin to take a course. So how do you take away limitation? Number one is personal study. Personal study. I'm in my office today, okay? If I show you my office is like a library. That's if you come to my house, it's like a library. So personal study is supposed to be a foundational habit you're supposed to have. Personal study, that's number one, personal study. Number two, how do you take away limitation? Number two, master classes, not degrees. Master classes, let me tell you the concept of master class. Master classes is listening to people who have gotten the result by themselves and they are willing to share specific insight of what they did. That's what master class is. You see, if you do masters in the university, that's not masters. So I've seen people who have done masters in business administration without one business and have started. Now I'm telling you the truth. I've seen people who have PhD without starting one business in business administration. They have not owned one business before. That's I see them. Okay, you have masters in business administration. Oh, really? You have masters. Do you know what masters means? Masters means that you have gotten unconsciously good at the performance of a particular thing. That's what master says. You have gotten unconsciously good. That if I wake you up in the midnight, 12 a.m., and I ask you to tell me what is the particular thing you need to do in the business to make it successful, you without thought, that's what mastery is. And somebody has read all the books about what men who didn't go to school did, and then he now has master. That's why title is one of the worst things that can happen to you. So the second thing is master classes. People have done well. Someone like Abioye. Abioye has gone through different, I've seen Abioye in this lifetime, one of the finest individuals. Abioye has risen through multiple challenges in business. I've seen Abioye work tirelessly in network marketing, came out of it, took his knowledge, built another one. I've seen Abioye doing lifestyle hub, traveling all over the world. If you instead of going to sit in one lecturer's office and listen to all the books he read, please meet Abioye to tell you what he did, what conversation he had. Is a better straight cut. In fact, most master classes don't last more than 3, 4, 5 days. They will give you straight to the short what you need to do, than having to go through all these degrees and mistake them for master classes. I know most of you don't like me anymore. Go ahead, type it in. If you don't like me, Mr. Ogo, write it down, put it down. Say, Mr. Ogo, if you don't like me right now, go ahead, chat me right now.
Trust me, we do like you.
I'm telling you. Now listen to this. Poor people wants to be liked. Rich men wants to be respected. Two different things. Poor people wants to be liked. Rich men wants to be respected. Respect comes from value creation. When you impact someone's life, the person will respect you. I'll tell you, let me tell you what respect is. Respect came from the root word. Respect came from the root word. Two words came together. The first word is spect, to see, spect. The second word is respect, to see twice. So respect is when you have done something that makes people look at you the second time with admiration. If people pass by in your life and there is nothing they can remember the next time about you, they won't have respect for you. So I don't want, if you see me and you say, Mr. Ogo, oh, I respect you, I'm asking myself, for what? What have I done for you to respect me? You can't respect anyone whom have not given you value. It's not the same thing. So So finally, one of the ways you can take away limitation is to mentorship. Mentorship, which means you're part of someone's life who will guide and nurture you. Who will guide and nurture you. Okay? I hope you had a good time today, right, guys?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, so far, so good. So, Abioye, I'm going to give it back to you. I'm ready to take questions and from everyone, and I hope you guys had a good time.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. It's been a great time with Mr. Omeogu. This evening on the chat column, I just want to just write, I am unlimitless. Okay. I am unlimited. I am unlimited. I am unlimited. Nothing limits me. Okay. And I'm super delighted about the way you've broken this into the way you've broken into a system that we can all apply in our personal lives, in our businesses, and as we conclude today's conversation, okay, before I take one or two questions. So if you have questions from Mr. Ugo, I'm going to unmute you, but what you're going to do for me is that you just need to digitally raise your hands, okay? Just raise your hands, and I will get the admin to unmute you as I call on you to ask Mr. Ugo your specific questions. And Mr. Ugo, as we wrap this up, I must really thank you for sharing this from your heart, and from the depth of what you know. And I'm sure these are things that people pay you thousands and millions of USD for, and that's one of the beautiful things about our community. We just want to share knowledge. Right here on this call, we have people joining us from Ghana, we have people joining us from Douala, Cameroon, we have people joining from Dubai, from the UK, from different parts of the world. And we are all Africans. I have Engineer Julius there joining us from South Africa, and it takes Africans to change Africa. The West lack the capacity to change Africa the way we want it. And we need to create and write our own narrative. We need to write our truths. Like you said, anything you believe is the truth. And I want to encourage every one of us listening to us today. You will have wasted your life and your time spent today if you just go back to sleep without reflecting and creating a plan on this training tonight. If you waited tomorrow, you've wasted it. You've lost the momentum. Now, Mr. Ugo, my last question today, before we go into the general question session, is on this call today, we have people that run businesses. We have workplace professionals. And, like you say, you talked about value. Money is a consequence of value. I just want you to just give a free advice on what you think the young entrepreneurs on this call today can do to ensure that by December this year, you've said it already, but I just wanted to duralize it a little more. Okay. That by December this year, they will look into their bank account and say, wow, I'm glad I attended the March edition of the Project 40 Knowledge Hub. Okay, so beautiful. First, thank you again, Abioye. This is beautiful, and I think you should make sure this thing continues for a lifetime, okay? The first of all is money is the wrong reason to work. Money is a wrong reason for work. Work, the essence of work, the reason for work is to improve the worker in mind, in spirit, and in body. The reason for working is to improve the worker in his spirit, in his mind, and his body, which is his competence, and then take the work of his hands and create business out of it for money. So a worker is a person that has ideas. A worker is the person that is inspired. A worker is the person that comes out with a purpose. He has skill sets. He has, values that he wants to bring to mankind. But listen,
Until you take that value and create a business around it, you can't make money. Now listen to this. The job, a job is anything you do that does not require your intelligence, that doesn't require your inspiration. So you go to work every morning, you go to your job, to your office every morning, and the owners of the business have done the whole thinking, and you're just trying to follow simple instructions. That's a job, which means you can be fired from your job. But work is anything you do that challenges your purpose, demands your intellect, and improves your skill. And once you are working, you create value, and then business comes. Business is a system that takes your value and turns it into money. So the essence of starting a business is to make money, but your purpose of working in a business is to create value. Write it down. The essence of starting a business is to make money, but your purpose of working in a business is to create value. So the value you create is what business takes to make money. So let's get the foundation right. What if your mindset is to work for money, not work for value creation? The advice I'm going to give will not work for you. Abioye wakes up in the morning. He's thinking, how can I serve more? How can I improve my business value proposition? How can I take what I have to a lot of people? There was a conversation I had with some couple. They called me the other day about you, Abioye. A wife and a husband, we are talking about the module of your business. They said, mentor, tell us, what is that module? You could see where I was defending you. They said, do you have share in the company? I said, no. I said, what you're about to get involved has been designed to solve some challenges in the social networking environment. You can take advantage of the thought of this guy and make yourself better. So work is for value creation. Business is for making money. You want to write it down. So separate the two. What if you're not working? What if you're not creating any value? So the next question, the next answer will not work for you. That's number one. Number two, how do you increase your cash flow? Well, there are different ways you can increase cash flow. If you already have money, write this down. There are two value pillars of money. Write it down. Two value pillars of money. The first pillar of value is the activity and the value that created the money. So I go to work in the morning, at the end of the month, I get paid. So whatever I did to create value brings money to me. So the first value of money is the value that created the money. So what did I do to make money? I teach, I run businesses, I provide services. So that's when you pay me money. You have converted my value and service to cash. But listen, gentlemen, never leave your value in form of cash. If someone pays you money for value you have created, it has entered a realm of depreciation. When your money is in cash, it will lose the essence of why it is made in the first place. So if I made, for example, 500 million naira last year, $1 million last year, and I was making that money based on the value, the services I was giving to my clients, and they give me $1 million. If I leave that $1 million, my value in $1 million, inflation would depreciate the value of that cash that I have. So in other words, $1 million is now my value in cash. The second pillar of money is to convert that particular money into another asset. So you take that money you've made, you find things that can make money by themselves. Example, real estate. Example, gold. So make sure that your final result in value creation, which is cash, does not stay at that level of cash. Take that money you've made and put it in another type of investment or asset, so that your money will still be working while you're working. That's one of the ways. That's what I do. My running expenses this year, everything I'm spending this year are returns of the money I made some years ago. So any money I'm making this year is also going into investment. So I don't take money from what I have made for what I've done and put into expenses. In other words, if you're making money and the money goes to expenses, you can never be wealthy or rich in your life. Okay? Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, go ahead. You want to say something, sir?
Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. And why I said it makes a lot of sense is this is not just in the individualistic realm. It also applies to corporates. because for those of us that run businesses here, when your company makes profit for the year, you need to have corporate investment in real physical assets, like you said, real estate, gold, and so on, things that the company can rely on in the future to take care of the future liabilities. And one of the things you said that was so striking today, Mr. Ugo, is that we need to apply and adopt the system thinking that are interdependent.
Correct.
And if you must, I'm talking to a participant today, if you must forget anything, please don't forget this. It is important that you and I, commit to systemic way of thinking, knowing that one virtue by itself is not enough. That was so powerful. Yes, Engineer Julius from South Africa, please kindly let me unmute Engineer Julius and very briefly kindly ask your question, sir.
Okay, okay.
I just want to say thank you very much to the organizer, Abioye and the team, and also thank you, Mr. Ugo. I just want to add to this that the value you grave on this platform is unlimited. And I just want to commend you and also the team to say thank you for creating a positive marks across the world.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Julius. And to add to what Engineer Julius said, one of the things Mr. Ugo has done to us today is for us to know that the concept of dying is an illusion, because there is a way we can depart this world and we are still living. For me, that is powerful. I learned this similar concept November 20, I think 2019, if I'm correct. I was 39, when I was 39, and I couldn't sleep that night. That, wow, you mean I can keep living forever, in my children, in my mentees, in people I've been able to touch. And I just said to myself, my real purpose is Project 40. Real estate for me is just to create the money, the wealth, the assets, to give more, and I remember having a conversation with God and I said to God, God, I need you it's important you make me a billionaire in dollars. And I promise you, I'm going to give it all back to society, and I feel if we all have that mindset, nobody will lack, because if everybody gives, nobody lacks. Omotade Mark, please unmute. Kindly let me unmute Omotade Mark, and please kindly ask a question, Mark.
All right, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Abioye. Good evening, Mr. Hugo. I really appreciate this class. That's the first thing I'm going to say. I got real value, that I must say, and I'm sure everybody on this platform right now have the same testimony. So there is something I just want to ask. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit, it can be a little bit off the line, but it's just a question. I would like to get clarity on something. And it's about business. I want to believe that a whole lot of us that are on this section tonight have some businesses we're building. We have some things we're struggling with when it comes to our businesses. So, and one thing I've come to realize is that structure plays a major role, in fact, a very important role when it comes to stabilizing a business. And this is the part where a lot of us miss it, because we start thinking, how do we really put the structure? How do we get the right people on our team? How do we get the people that can go through the tough time with us and build the business till it gets to that bigger level? So I believe a lot of people have this confusion, this question, and I want to directly direct this question to Mr. Hugo, please. With the level you've gotten to in your business and your line, how were you able to come up with succeed with structure, building structure, stabilizing your business, and picking it from the bottom to the top? Please, I would really appreciate you to give more clarity on this.
Okay, thank you, Omotade, for that question. Very brilliant. First of all, the human progress for life. There are 3 levels of 4 levels of human progress. The first level is survival, when you're trying to find what to eat. Okay, you're trying to figure out what to eat yourself. Basically, at that time, what you're thinking is, what can I eat? Okay, the second level is success. is when you have solved the issue of survival, you're thinking about how can I collaborate? How can I help people? So in the points of trying to help people, you're trying to also take what you've done for yourself and help some other people, okay? Now, when structure will begin to come in when you want to thrive, how do I bring in so many other skill set in a place where I can collaborate with them to serve a greater good, more people without becoming lesser? So it's at the level of thriving that structure becomes necessary. But the conceptual framework of structure should be part of your daily living. Thinking I'm going to put structure. For example, today I had a meeting today with my staff. We are diversifying into a different realm. We're taking my business to the online space. So everybody, I have head digital marketing, I have head customer service, I have head accounting department, I have head on video production. So each person, by reason of their own level of success, in terms of they have got out of survival mode, they're not thinking about what to eat. They're thinking about how can I give more? Because you can't put structure without the right competence. So if you are gotten from survival to success, then structure becomes imminent. Structure is basically putting different functions to work together as one whole. Structure is bringing different functions and competencies and managing the processes of engagement so that they can function as a whole. Do that make sense?
Yes.
That's what, but what if you are not at the place of thriving? You don't have to worry about structure at the moment. Okay, so you need to know, are you surviving? Are you trying to make ends meet? That's one. If you have done that, you have saved some money, you have some investment that are helping you to take care of your daily living. And now you're thinking about how can I serve more people, which means you need to have different competencies come together. All right. So we're going to turn off the gen now. NEPA just took up the light. Okay. So if you have to have people who are now working with you, what you need to now do is to begin to identify each person's role amongst the entire process. Who does what? How does which person does affect what everybody else does? That is where structure comes in. But it's a necessity. You must come to that place where you know you're there. Does that make sense? You have to come to the place where it is necessary. So it's not something that exists in isolation. It's not something that exists in abstract concept. So if you're not there, and you're trying to put structure, it's going to be some kind of a mismatch. Then the fourth level of human progress is automation. Automation. Now, in automation, your presence is no longer necessary. By the end of 2022, my company will achieve it will achieve a tremendous level of automation. What it means that I can leave my company and somebody else can be CEO. I don't have to be there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Automation is at the level where in my own company, another CEO, just like I have Google now, the MD and CEO of Google is not the founders of Google. The MD CEO of Microsoft is not the founder of Microsoft right now. So those companies have achieved automation where the first founder and the owner is not the one running the company all the time. So it's 4 stages: survival, what you can do to make ends meet; success, how you can work with other people to make impact. The third one is thriving, where there are more competent people. You can't thrive alone. Thriving as a concept is when good virtues come together to form a whole. And then you want to go into automation when you are not even necessary in the first place, because the system can run itself without your input. Okay? I don't know if that answered the question.
Yes, you did.
What's the answer?
You actually did. You spoke about 4 human progress level, from survivor to success, from success to thriving, and automation. So if you're at the level of survivor, you do not need structure.
Correct.
So yeah, from success, you can start thinking, but when it gets to that level of thriving, you know you need more earns.
Okay.
So, and it gets to a point of automation whereby you don't have to be physically present to run your business, and you have people that do that on your behalf.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Very good.
Yeah. So, but in subsequent classes, and when we talk about systems, maybe if I'm privileged to be given the honor again. We can talk about how to go about building the structure. So I want to say something quickly. Amatade, thank you for that question you have. You see, in business, you don't make profit.
Okay.
What you make in business is margin. You don't make profit in business. It's an investment, you make profit. So because Abioye was talking about people that are in corporate now who can now also make corporate investment. When your company makes margin, don't say when your company makes profit. When you are the one piloting your company, you're the CEO, you have your senior managers, middle managers, and you are part of that group that creates the money. What you have at the end of the year in your financials is not called profit, it's called margin. I need to understand that. Profit is when your money makes money without your input. Margin is the extra income you have based on the value you created. Example is I produce water. Who produces the water? Me. I have my system. I have my cost of running my business. I have my staff, but I'm also part of the workforce. I am there. We're planning, thinking. So by the time we produce this bottle of water, the cost of production is 10,000, and we finally put it in the market at 15,000. Or more, have I made profit?
Margin.
You've made margin. Thank you. You see, margin is directly related to your labor. You don't touch your margin to go to luxury places. You don't touch your margin to go and blow it in Maserati. You don't touch your margin to buy a biggie house in London. Your margin is a compensation for your labor, for your ideas. So you take a portion of that, your margin, and then put it in another business venture, which is somebody else's margin, and put it in, for example, if I give Abioye $2 million now, and at the end of the year, Abioye gives me 2.2 million. That 200,000 is profit because I'm not the one that did all the thinking, the planning, all of those things. It's my money that brought that. But if my own business that I'm running, I made at the end of the year, we started with $10 million and I was able to make $20 million. That 10 million on top is margin, it's not profit, because without my physical input, it cannot sustain, which means if I had not been there, the company will collapse. So what do I do? Do I blow the 10 million because I made extra income? No, it's my sweat money, even though it's $10 million. Oh God, I wish someone is listening to me right now.
I'm listening.
Do that make sense?
You know,
Yes, a whole lot of sense.
Yes, Abioye, go ahead.
by implication, what you are simply telling us that it is a financial crime for us to spend our salaries.
Yes, it's a financial sin, not even crime, it's sin. So what it means is, if you are working right now, you're in this particular program and you're making some big money. You started with 1 million, you made 10 million. That extra 9 million is your sweat money. Don't forget the size of the money is sweat, which means if you're not there, it will not come. So instead of saying, honey, we made $9 million profit, that's wrong. That language has killed more businesses than it has raised. It is still tied to you. It is still labor. So you go and buy one big 27 million naira car and you say you're living large. If something happens to you, that money is going back to zero. What do? Leverage, system thinking, interdependence. Tell Abioye, how much can I give you in your business? And you give Abioye, out of that 10 million, you give him 2 million or 3 million. Your money now is working. When your 3 million makes 1 million, the 1 million is called profit. The 10 million you made is called margin. Oh my God, I wish someone can just touch his head and say, oh my God, I'm getting it. Because the tendency to think is profit because it's 50 million. It's still labor money. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, distinguished Cherry, if you can hear me clearly, I would like you to drop an email address for everybody on this call today. You have a viable business. You have a viable business you believe we can invest in. Just send an email about your viable business. We will look at your business and see if we can invest in your business. I will drop mine too, so we'll drop us, okay? and see if we can invest in your business so that we can make profit, so that we can live the lifestyle.
Please, I want to be part of that. Let me know anyone we've been able to find out that has the acid test. Please, I would like to invest too.
Beautiful, beautiful. So distinguished right now, if you can hear me, I don't know, Samuel, Progress, anyone that can hear me right now, drop an email address. Okay, and I also want to encourage those on this call today, if you are not on the WhatsApp group yet, please, the link is on the chat column already. Drop the group. It's not one of those WhatsApp groups that people drop all sort of comments. You know, it's highly restricted. It's just for information purposes. This same email address we are talking about, we'll still drop it on the WhatsApp group, you know, in line with this beautiful question that Omotade has asked, and it has just inspired something, you know, and that's so beautiful, you know, and thank you so much, Mr. Ugo. This is financial intelligence, you know, this is above master's level, really.
My brother came back from the United States of America last week. So, I mean, he's a great guy. I love him. He works hard. He's into medical profession. You know, we're looking at our financials. So he showed me the money he has made. And he was happy for him. He made hundreds of thousands of dollars. But that's his sweat money. So I now showed him the money my money made. What shocked him was not that I made money. I said, let me tell you, so you work hard to make this money. And let me not show you what I want. I'm not proud. I don't want to be bragging about how much I made. That's labor. That's labor. So I want to brag about how hard my money is working.
Beautiful.
He said, Bros, go. I want this. I said, first of all, it's a mindset. That's why don't ask me what to invest in. Ask me to teach you how investment works.
Beautiful.
Okay. So finally, the fundamental principle of investing, is protection of capital. The protection of the principal. You're not so crazy about the return as you are about the protection of your capital. Most people have lost their money in investment because they're looking at the profit. So because the higher the profitability of an investment, the higher the risk your money is. So I'm going to share this with you finally, and maybe I'll stop. Can I go ahead, sir?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Do not take risk with your money. Take risk with your ideas. Do not take risk with your money. Take risk with your ideas. I'll explain that to you. So listen to this. You see, the word risk means the possibility of danger. The word risk means the possibility of loss. So when it says something is risky, it means something is highly dangerous. Okay, so listen to this. If I work hard day and night and I get 100,000, if you put my value in cash, once you paid me money, somebody can steal it from me, which means my value is now in a stealable form. But when my value is in me, you can't take it from me because I am the one that is valuable. I know what it is. So I work hard and make money, and my money is now in $100,000. Now, this is equivalent of your value or equivalent of your time. When you're looking for investment, look for investment that will protect this money, not to expose it to danger. Now, when you go into investment, you understand what is called asset classes and portfolio diversification. 80% of your money should go to safe investment that are not high risk. Then you cannot play with 20% into high risk investment. So that even if the 20% disappears, your 80% gradually will make up that same money. So what it means is risk means possibility of danger. And that's why real estate is a safe place to put money. It's safer because you're trying to protect before you preserve. You're trying to preserve before you multiply. Oh, I wish I'm making sense. The essence of investing first is to protect the money, not to make money. Because in the four values of wealth creation, the first one is preservation. The first one is accumulation, which is what you're doing to make money. The second one is preservation. So if I'm putting my money in an investment, I know inflation in Nigeria is about 27%. If anybody gives me like 10, 17 a year, it is too good to be true. Because if you want to go for those people that do all those investment that give you 10% every week, I want you to know the same way it's giving you returns, your money can disappear the next day. So the fundamental principle is protection of principal, not multiplication of the money. That's the first thing. Now, why do I say take risks with your ideas? You see, your ideas becomes better when it's exposed to market forces, when it's exposed to trying. So once you take your idea, you take risk with it, you go and try it. Even when the idea did not work, you become a better person. That's what's making Abioye very successful. Abioye takes every day, he's trying something new, his ideas are getting better because he's taking risk with it. People are saying no, people are saying it cannot work, oh, I'm not ready for that. As you are trying to take your ideas and expose to the market, your idea is getting better. By extension, you are getting better as an idea promoter. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So what you want to do is take more risk with ideas. If you're here right now and you're trying to get a perfect idea without taking risk to ideas, you're not going to get anywhere. But what you should not take much risk with is once you have taken your idea and you have made money, please, that money in cash level is very ephemeral. It can disappear in 1 minute. Somebody can come in and take your money and run away, and you go back to zero in terms of cash. But if you are the one that created the value and the idea that led to the money, it might feel temporary loss or grief, but you know you can come back and repeat what you did before. So one of the ways you can grow your cash, grow your income this year, is improve the performance of your idea, improve your competence to reach new markets, or serve your customers higher and better, or take what is working in one market to a different segment of another market. For example, our corporate goal this year is to make $10 million. That's our corporate target this year. So we are rejigging all of our processes to see which new category of customers that what we already have can serve. And then we're looking for people, the unserved in our markets, segment, people who have not even heard about us. So there's a campaign coming, digital campaign, social media campaign, so that we can increase the number of people who are already in a state where they can buy from us. And then take our premium product, look for people who cannot afford the premium product, and then create a mass market, and then reduce the price and serve more people. And then we have a lot of funding in terms of income and margin. Okay. And then I think that helps you a lot.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Before I take the last two questions, please, Mr. Ugo, let me just publicly request your favor from you. There are some group of guys in Ghana, and they are member of this Project 40, and I'm sure one of them must be on this call today. They have got great ideas to disrupt the financial sector of the sub-region of West Africa. And I've spoken to certain people, and I want them to pitch their ideas to them. I've put together some top 10 guys, for them to really pitch. It's going to be sometime first week of April. I would like you to be on that Zoom call where they pitch their ideas. They pitch to me, and I think it's very viable. I think it's very interesting, but I want to create a team that could potentially invest in that great idea. But I think it's something that will really, it's a fintech technology they've invented, and I think it's very great. So please, I know, because I tell you privately, you say, oh, I'm so busy, but now I know you won't say no to me publicly. And please, Chinere, please drop Mr. Ugo's Instagram's handle. It's important we all follow him on Instagram, so that at least you can get notification about certain things going on. And of course, please also drop my own Instagram handle, so it's the Abioye, okay? And please help me to quickly go on Instagram and quickly copy the link for Mr. Ugo's handle, so that everybody on this call can follow him right away, so that the conversation can continue. Now the next person that is going to ask you this question is one of the brightest minds in Africa. And I'm glad he could make it here today. His name is Mr. Victor Anilaju. He's a great African. So Mr. Victor, please kindly go ahead and ask your question. Admin, please kindly let me unmute Mr. Victor, please, Anilaju. Mr. Victor, are you there? I hope you are not one of those people that will join a Zoom, they will just join the Zoom, they will go under their duvet, and sleep off, and at least it's on record that they're on the Zoom call. So I think he's having some network issue. Okay, Mr. Victor, let me call on you again. Can you quickly unmute yourself, prove to us that you are not under your duvet and you are slept off under a chilling AC room?
Sorry. I'm here. Abioye. Trust me, I really appreciate Abioye. Like, if there's any person, if I'm waking up today and they ask me, who can you refer to be as one of the fast growing young entrepreneurs in Africa, your name comes to my head. Right? Because what you are doing is generational. Right? And I'm glad to be part of what you're doing. I'm telling you, I'm giving my 100% support. Anywhere you need me to come in, please don't hesitate. Right? And I want to thank everyone that have joined this discussion. I know that we are raising a new generation, businessmen and women. What makes an economy to grow is the number of successful business people. It is not the number of churches. It is not the number of mosques. Right? And I want to thank our main director today that have brought us, I call it divine entrepreneurship wisdom. There are things that I heard today I've not heard before. I'm not kidding you. I've been in business for over 25 years. But this is a mind shift. My simple question is this. Because of my engagements in politics, most people know that I'm running to become the next president of Nigeria come 2023. Because of my engagement, I find out that a lot of young people are pursuing businesses. They want to do well in business. It's good. I love that. But we always neglect government. And government can take one decision that can turn our businesses upside down. What can we do? Because in Nigeria right now, what we are facing is that the youth are driven by entrepreneurship, and they have left the politics to people who don't understand business, who don't understand system, who don't understand protocol. And they go into the government, they make decisions that are turn our business upside down. I'm asking this question because I'm one of the victims of business default or challenges as a result of governmental policies. So I will need you, our coach for today or our trainer for today, to maybe if you have an idea of how you think we can drive our young entrepreneurs into more of politics and policies. Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay, very nice. Do I have an answer to that? First of all, I like politics. Just that the terrain in Nigerian politics is so dangerous for me at this point, particularly, I must confess. But I believe that with what we are doing now, courtesy of Abioye, that we should go to sensitize people into the implication of government in business, which you actually rightly said. You can be all you can in business, and one politician makes one decision and shatters the whole economy. Look at what's going on in Nigeria right now. So it's a clear call for all of us and to begin to have that discussion and create pressure groups where we can begin to come together in consensus as one body and float some kind of focus group or party. If you look at what happened last 2 years at NSAS, now it's all gone. Nobody's really talking about it. It's actually a big problem I think we have to go into. I for one, I'm interested in contributing my quarter to the economy. One of the things I've done was there's young people I'm mentoring right now. They love politics. So what I'm doing is to help them to also be entrepreneurial, because if those people get into that government without a business sense, they'll still cause the same trouble they already met there. So I have some people I'm mentoring. They love politics as passionate as I love business and wealth creation. So in my way is to, since they're already going to be in politics, whether I'm there or not, is to let them understand that if you want to run the economy without business sense, it's going to be difficult for you to really make change when you get in there, because the bureaucratic nature of government can frustrate anybody who is not, dogged. So is sensitization of people, which is what is happening here. Maybe Abioye, you can put one of the topics to become on how political leadership can affect economic derivatives, and we can begin to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
That's my thought on that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for that. Like one of the top leaders from Nigeria once said that every serious politician must have a second address. And your second address is that you've succeeded in business. That gives you the liberty to come around and serve. Then the final question, I need us to wrap up this. Rega, please kindly unmute yourself and ask your questions or question very briefly. Over to you, please. Regal, are you there, or you are under your duty? Go ahead. Good evening.
Yes.
Yeah, hello everybody. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
I came in quite late for the meeting. I would like to ask. Yes, hello. Good evening. I would like to ask what's the way forward? Really, this the new
What?
Nigeria that we're in. What's the way forward? Like in all ramifications. What's the way forward? How do we end all this madness that's going on now? And how can it further help us to improve our businesses, various kinds of businesses with the harsh conditions we're facing currently?
Okay. Abioye, can you help me rephrase, get the question? It's very clear where I am. Unclear.
Yes, that with the mad reality, the confusion going on around, probably no lights, no fuel, and issues like that. And as a business person, how do you succeed with all the madness going on around?
Oh, okay. Beautiful question right there. So write this down, everybody. Enterprise is adaptive. One of the essence of enterprise is adaptiveness. Enterprise is not rigid. Enterprise is adaptive. There are different factors that affect business. Government policies, act of God, competence, international factors. There are so many factors that affect businesses. And as a business person, part of what you need to learn is how to adapt to the ever-changing dynamics of business. And 3 things I'm going to mention to help you take care of that. Number 1 is system thinking, interdependence. Okay. Number 2 is leverage. Okay. Leveraging other virtues around you. And number 4 is networking. Okay. So right now, example, I am opening up a branch of my company in the UK, because one of the challenges we face here in this country is limitation to dollar. We can't make payments outside the country. The other day, I had to pay a bank about 100,000 to have access to $1,000 a month. After I paid that money on a special product, they still call me. I can't do more than $50 a month. Now, my business is, we're trying to open a branch in the UK. That is an intervention so that I can have access to the global market, so that no matter what happens here in Nigeria, I'm still able to play in the global space. In that way, I'm now expanding my reach beyond one economy. And remember, if you are in a government, like Victor said, that has a very bad policies, it will have an impact on your business as well as you're trying to grow your business. So one of the things you could do to affect this is to diversify on different products based on what you offer, that can also mitigate the impact of the government policies. And in investment, we call that negative covariance. When you have parallel products from one company that can affect, that if one product is affected, another product goes up. Okay, so diversification is one of the things you could do, and then expansion in other markets. And I hope that everybody here is up to that level where I can discuss these things very well. The guys in Ghana, I've seen Abioye travel to many countries at the same time. So you can see his portfolio is a very expansive. There's no one thing you can do right now in Africa that can close the business of Abioye because of the diversification model you have attempted in having different markets on the same products. So that's one of the things I think you could do to do that. Number two is to cut down on expenses. You have to review your expenses, retool and rebalance. For example, I have a big gen, 20 kVA Cummins. We are trying to introduce another type of gen, like a smaller gen that has fuel, because we use diesel. So because I can see that diesel can go scarce and then we can have access to it, then we need fuel. So we're trying to see how we can put that in place and also put solar and inverter to help to mitigate our cost. So these are some of the things you could do to, put some kind of shock absorber in your business by finding an adaptive way to look at the places you can adjust your expenses, and then also introduce, like what I'm doing right now, I'm talking about from experience. You have DSTV, you have GoTV. It's the same mother company. The same company owns two of them. But when Start Times came into Nigeria, I introduced the lowest of people can pay 2,000 naira to have access to cable network. DSTV did not bring down the original brand. They introduced a product segment that would deal with the masses without affecting the company brand in offering products. So there's so many things you could do to show against your business growth in the same economy. But don't forget, no matter what happens, money does not disappear from the earth. It only shifts ground to those who knows how to put more value in the system. Does that answer your question, Rego? Does that answer your question?
Rego, are you still there? Can you confirm, or you want a backup? Okay, I think our question has been answered, because product creation, like you said, we have to be adaptive. We must not be rigid. We need to create product. I think if it's the same Rega I know, she's one of the best caterers in Africa. She makes, she can cook for the whole world. So she needs to start thinking about how can she turn her cooking skill to something that can be exported. How can she create food products that can be preserved, in a very organic manner. Get partners. It's about system thinking. Like create a system around her business. So for me, I think she's got a great asset in her hands, and she just needs to broaden her mindset. And I'm glad she made it here today, because even for me today, my mindset has been further broadened. I doubt if I'm going to sleep tonight. Don't get me wrong, guys. You have to sleep. Sleep is good for your brain, but I'm not going to sleep well tonight. But I will compensate myself later in the afternoon tomorrow, and I make up for the hours of sleep, because I can't afford to wait till tomorrow before I conceptualize all this and localize. Because everything Mr. Uga said today, okay, you've got to localize it and ask yourself, how can this work for my business? So for me, I want to quickly localize that. How can we take our business in Ghana to the next level? There's this beautiful city in Cameroon called Douala. I fell in love with that city when I visited, and I want to have one of the best estates, co-owned by other vision partners in that city of Douala. What can we do? And I've gotten a lot of tips, a lot of ideas on how we can make Douala, one of the best system with eco-friendly estates in Africa. I'm thinking of Kigali already. So tell me why I should sleep. Tell me why you should sleep tonight. It's very important. And I try to take notes, as Mr. Ugo was sharing with us. The more I try to take the notes, the more I miss out from what he was saying. And what that simply means is that it's important that we all watch a replay. Okay. if you really want to own today's knowledge, you need to watch the replay at least 7 times, you know, and in the next 48 hours, the replay is going to be on our YouTube channel, and we're going to drop the link on the WhatsApp group. You see why you should be on the WhatsApp group? You know, I encourage you, if you're not on the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group, you know, and I want to encourage you to please fill the growth matrix. Is a form we want you to fill, because by July this year, on the 26th of July, we are going to have the grand final of this season, and a new season will begin by August this year. And we are going to have a physical event, you know, where we are going to have people like Mr. Ugo and other people that make up the faculty of Project 40, you know, and where we have a physical event, and we're going to give awards to 40 most improved members of this community. And I'm trusting God that we will not just give you an award, but even include a grant, you know, like a seed fund into your project, into your business, you know. So I want to encourage you. And for you to qualify for that award, we must see growth. We must see that you've been able to employ more people into your business. You know, we want to see your books. We want to be sure that you are running, you have moved from the point of survivor. Okay, if you are at the level of survivor, you cannot qualify for that award. You must have moved from survivor to some level of success. Okay, then of course, you can now be one of those that will be considered for such an award. Remember, you know, the question by Omotade and Mr. Ugo talked to about 4 levels of human progress: survivor, success, thriving, and automation. You know, think about how you can automate. There is so much Mr. Ugo has shared with us today. And for me, I think I want to encourage you, do something. You do me a favor, you know, follow Mr. Ugo on Instagram, send him a DM,
Yes.
ask for his bank account. Okay, ask for his bank account. If it's just 1,000 naira, don't worry, it's an offering. You know, you are tapping into his, and he never asked me to do this, please. And Mr. Ugo, please don't kill me for doing this. Okay, just drop something. You don't want to know. You see, successful people are not used to people giving them gifts, you know, and that's why a lot of poor people remain poor, because they believe, oh, successful people, you don't need to give them any gifts and everything, you know. Just it could be a recharge card, you know, just send to him, you know, and you are tapping into the grace God has given to him, because for me, he's one of the most knowledgeable people I've been able to come across. Look at everything he just said to us. No slide, nothing, you know, everything was just flowing. And the worst mistake we can make now is for another person to ask him another question, who will come up with another content entirely. So we'll not even take that risk. Question over already. Thank you so much, Mr. Ugo.
Thank you.
And we are going to call you back, you know, because we really need to break down the concept of leverage, you know,
Yes.
because we all need that leverage.
Yes.
You know, and we are going to call you back, and I will talk to you offline and see when, which of the months you have the time for you to just conclude. There's never a conclusion this kind of, but at least I'm more particular about that concept of leverage, and I think there is more we need to learn from you on it. Thank you so very much. So please, on the chat column, please just keep dropping. Thank you, Mr. Ugo. Thank you. Keep thanking him. You know, let's thank him digitally. Just start thanking him, you know, because he has made so much sacrifice to be here today. I'm sure he had like 5 things he should be doing at this material time, but he has impacted in us. He has poured in us, you know, and he keeps living in our hearts, because we need to all to go and practice. The real benefit of today's session, if it's when it starts bringing results in our lives. That is when Mr. Ugo will be delighted and say, wow, my investment of 2 hours with these guys on the 26th of March was actually not wasted. So thank you so much, Mr. Ugo, for being a part of this session today.
Have a good time.
Thank you. So I just want to encourage every one of you that are member of this Project 40 community. Challenges will come, whether you like it or not, okay? But all we just need to do is to wish for more skills, you know, and we've acquired more knowledge today. Let's turn this knowledge to skills that give results. You know, I thank you so very much for being part of this session today. We'll be back with a powerful April edition on the 26th of April with another member of our faculty and of course, it promises to be a great one. You know, I encourage you to please, April edition, don't attend alone. Come and attend with your friends, you know, with your team members, and let us hold our hands. It's more powerful when we also sit together. Trust me, it's more powerful, and I want us to really, really also sit together. Nobody should be left behind. And I encourage you to please apply and let yourself know that you are not limited. Okay, you are limitless. Nothing can stop you. Your brain is it's unlimited, and there's so much your mind can conceive. Thank you so very much for sacrifice to be here today. I really appreciate you all. I wish I could cry for you to understand how much I appreciate the fact that you could all make it here today. I look forward to be back again myself. My name is Abioye, and see you next month. Bye-bye for now.
Do you have a dream? Is that dream in your imagination? Is that imagination expressed through the words?
You condition your association, your environment. We've got to unlearn.
Are those words in your actions? Are those actions towards your dream?
What has the word sold to you? They say to you that, oh, you cannot achieve this. If you believe it, they are correct. If you don't believe them, they are absolutely wrong.
I invite you to join me